Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and it's a great pleasure to rise tonight, perhaps for the last time as the House winds down. This is the 41st Parliament, and it means particularly a lot to stand amongst my colleagues here this evening. And amongst some people who have given great speeches tonight, a lot of great members are leaving the House, and we know there are a lot of great ones sitting with us tonight who will remain here, and others coming to reinforce the House after the next election. Mr. Speaker, I do want to thank you for the opportunity and our House Leader for the opportunity to speak tonight. I was first elected to the 37th Parliament, and following that in November 27th to the 38th, the 39th, the 40th, and now this, the 41st Parliament. There, at the time in November 27, there were 17 new members on the Canadian Alliance side, enough to boost our numbers to 66 and achieve official opposition status. The Nine-Mile Burnie, Mr. Speaker, is a beautiful part of Vancouver Island. It's covering nearly 9,000 square kilometres. There's 127,000 constituents. It's one of the most beautiful natural settings to live, to work, or to play. Vancouver Island boasts the mildest climate in Canada. We enjoy natural beauty afforded by mountains, by ocean, beaches, and one of the richest resources in life experience and the human resources of our amazing retirement community, including some members of the House here who live as my constituents now. Deb Gray is there, Randy White is there, Brian Peckford, former Premier Newfoundland, are all constituents in our riding. And I expect some of our members now retiring. There's room for you as well. And at least to come and visit if you weren't planning to stay. Mr. Speaker, it's an immense honour to represent an electoral district in Canada, to take a place here in the National House of Debate. And for most of us, there's an enormous team effort involved, and therefore a lot of people to thank for our electoral success. Many Canadians will be unaware of the challenge to relationships that federal politics demand. We've heard a little bit tonight from members about the importance of family. And I want to recognize the love and support of my wife Helen throughout these 14 years. Helen, you've been a rock, and we couldn't have done what we did without the sacrifices of my wife, and we very much appreciate that steadfastness that made it possible for us to do what we had to do to get elected, to stay elected, and to serve our community. As a Christian, I want to give thanks to God for directing the life path that's before me and give me the opportunity to serve my community. Lifelong service and learning is a commitment that sustained me for more than half a lifetime, and I look forward to taking the life lessons from these amazing 15 years here into the next chapter of my life. It's been a delight to work with so many great Canadians. The Honourable Stockwell Day was the party leader that took us to official opposition status. The current Prime Minister, who united the legacy parties, along with the Honourable member from Central Nova, who spoke brilliantly tonight, the Minister of Justice, and the many stellar people that I've worked with in our expanded Conservative caucus and the Cabinet, and many across the aisle in other parties. You've all contributed to one of the great chapters of my life, and I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you. At home, the Legacy Party and the CPC members, the Electoral District Association supporters, our campaign teams and workers who pulled together for a common cause are so much appreciated. No electoral success would have been possible without you. My office staff were foundational to our success. There were many in 3 offices over 15 years, beginning with Gail Goodman, who joined me from my chiropractic office, Ann Bell, Jim Chutka, Dave McEachern, Kathy Roycroft, Patty Pierce, Pamela Dransfield, Jean Farnsworth, and Chris Mellon, along with a few shorter part-time assistants, but all have served with the constituent first service model, going the extra mile to find answers in an often challenging, complicated maze of services and expectations. In Ottawa, Ann Anders and Bobby Wallach have been our anchors, and I want to say thank you to each and every one for a tremendous team effort. But there's one person above all that stands out for special recognition. Paula Peterson, she exemplifies the attributes that I see in so many of my staff members. But Paula ran 3 of our 5 campaigns. She served as the EDA president for many years. Paula came out of retirement to take on the senior position of my constituency office for the finishing lap. Paula is in demand by persons at all 3 senior levels of electoral office. Her good nature, her organizational skills, her political know-how bring out the best in people. She's a lover and a giver, tirelessly serving our community even when she's not in the spotlight. Thank you, Paula, for your lifetime of service, and with our EDA and our office staff, a united commitment to making our community and our world a better place. Friends, you know that health care is a passion for me, and I've spent my entire post-secondary career in pursuit of understanding human health issues. and relieving human suffering. I'm grateful to the University of Manitoba and the Canadian Memorial Chiropractic College for the foundation in developing professional and academic skills to serve. Colleagues, my motion 501 on sustainable healthcare had its first hour debate just a couple of weeks ago, and it's about employing innovation, effectiveness, and cost-effectiveness to achieve sustainable healthcare. Wellness promotion, disease prevention strategies save immense costs of managing high-needs patients. If the motion does not make it through this session, it's scheduled to, but with changes in schedule, it may not. If it does not, I hope to have left a path and ideas for others to build on. We have the knowledge today to release billions of dollars back into our economy by examining and promoting low-cost, effective health strategies. Let's not miss the opportunity on behalf of Canadians to do so. Mr. Speaker, I've recently raised alarms about those amongst us as Canadians who seek to rebrand our nation with a godless image. And colleagues, as I leave this place after 15 years and 5 elections, I urge you to take note of the serious assault on the foundations of our nation. Our Charter of Rights and Freedoms acknowledges that Canada was founded on a belief in the supremacy of God. Our parliamentary precinct has scripture inscribed in the stones, on the Peace Tower and throughout the Memorial Chapel, the heart of the Peace Tower. And famously in the wood over the doors in the 4th floor shadow cabinet are carved the words, "Fear God and honor the King." And some of us served in opposition and saw that regularly. Those who are determined to change that piece by piece and stone by stone to recreate Canada in a secular, godless image, purpose to use their influence, their positions of authority, their money, and our courts to this end. The recent Supreme Court ruling on prayer at City Council in Saguenay has sent repercussions across the country and greatly advanced the godless rebranding exercise. This ruling basically redefines freedom of religion as freedom from religion. Big banks and corporate CEOs have used their money and influence to advocate against a Christian law school at Trinity Western University, and medical licensing authorities have unilaterally expunged doctors' long-standing conscience provisions, forcing costly legal challenges. Mr. Speaker, the most published and read book in the history of the world is, in fact, a record of God's dealing with man from the beginning of time. It has advice for those who despise God's counsel and oppose His purposes. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. In fact, it says on the Peace Tower out here, where no vision is, the people perish. It also says, remove not the ancient landmark. Be not many teachers. Woe unto those who teach men to err. Woe to those who call good evil and evil good. And righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. Mr. Speaker, the world the godless would build is a world without hope, a world of expanding darkness. It is our godly inheritance that has made Canada the great success it's been. Apart from Him, we have no remedy for sin. We have no moral code to build on except His precepts. Godlessness is and will be accompanied by increasing social disorder, violence, lawlessness, and depravity. It is spreading around the world. Colleagues, let's keep the lights on in Canada. It is not the Christian right, if such can be found in Canada, that they seek to overthrow. It is the God of heaven and earth who has been building His kingdom throughout the ages and evermore in our turbulent times. If we reject His loving kindness and so great a salvation, we will surely meet Him as judge. And those who set themselves against His purposes can expect to hasten the encounter. For those who would destroy the foundations of our great nations, I say, fear God. He knows your thoughts, your address, and your expiry date. He's invested heavily in Canada, and He will defend His investments out of love and compassion for our nation. May those who love the King take note and engage accordingly, and may God keep our land glorious and free. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. Colleagues, for your service to our country, to the Prime Minister, to our party, and to Canada. And friends, we know as we leave this place that we do so with a lot of friendships that we will take with us. We never say goodbye to our friends. We expect to stay connected with you. We will stay engaged in some fashion or another in wanting to see Canada become all that it can be, and we wish you all the success, those who remain behind, and will believe, will pray for, and will do whatever we can to see Canada remain successful. And I wish those who remain all the very most of success in what you do here, and for those who are moving on to very successful pursuits in what you take on in the future. Thank you very much, colleagues.